The roar of the crowd hit like a freight train, but it was the crack of the helmet against my ribs that knocked the breath clean out of me. I crumpled to the turf, phone skittering from my pocket into the mud, just as the final whistle blew. Our improbable victory sealed in overtime. And there, kneeling beside me with eyes wide as saucers, was Captain Jax Harlan. His gloved hand already reaching for what he thought was his device, our fingers brushing in the chaos, swapping fates without a word. In the dim glow of the locker room showers, steam curling like ghosts around the tiled walls, I stared at the phone in my hand. Sleek, black, not mine. The case was scuffed leather, etched with a faded eagle from some ancient Eagle Scout badge. Worlds away from my beat-up blue plastic shell plastered with band stickers. Heart pounding from the adrenaline dump of the game, I thumbed the screen awake. No passcode, just a lock screen photo. Jax Harlan, All-American Golden Boy, grinning with his arms slung around his little brother at last year's state championship. Confetti raining down like blessings from a football god. I should have handed it back right then. Practice had ended hours ago. The team long scattered to dive bars and dorm parties. But I'd lingered, nursing bruises under the hot spray, replaying that blindside hit from the rival linebacker who'd whispered, "Fag," under his breath as he plowed me. New guy on the roster, transfer from a nowhere community college in Ohio. Me, Eli Rivera, the scrappy wide receiver with a chip on his shoulder bigger than the state of Texas. Jax, though? He was the sun this campus orbited. Senior quarterback, Heisman whisperer, face on every billboard from here to Austin hawking energy drinks and truck ads. The kind of guy who made straight dudes question their compasses without even trying. But curiosity's a bitch, and mine clawed at me as I dried off, towel slung low around my hips. I flicked through the notifications. Texts from cheerleaders I didn't recognize. A reminder for a poli-sci paper due tomorrow, and buried at the bottom, an email from anonymous counselor at UTexas.edu. Subject: Your session notes, confidential. My thumb hovered, guilt twisting like a knife, but I tapped anyway. The preview loaded, Jax exploring identity and family pressures. Remember, suppression leads to... I slammed the phone face down on the bench, heat flooding my cheeks. Shit, this wasn't just any secret. This was a goddamn grenade with the pin half pulled. I grabbed my jeans, yanking them on over still damp skin, and bolted for the door, Jax's phone burning a hole in my pocket. The campus night air slapped me awake. Crisp October chill laced with the distant twang of a live band from 6th Street, Austin's heartbeat pulsing under neon signs. I needed to find him. Now, the walk to the frat house took 20 minutes that felt like hours. My sneakers crunching over fallen live oak leaves. The glow of street lamps casting long shadows that danced like accusations. Sigma Chi loomed like a southern mansion on steroids, porch lights blazing, bass thumping from inside. I spotted Jax through the window first, perched on the arm of a leather couch, beer in hand, laughing at some pledge's dumb joke. His dirty blonde hair still tousled from the helmet, that easy megawatt smile disarming a room full of brothers God. He was beautiful in a way that hurt, all broad shoulders and easy grace, the kind of handsome that made you feel small and seen all at once. Pushing through the crowd, I weaved past red solo cups and shouts of Rivera. Where you been, man? That catch was filthy. A backslap here, a fist bump there. I nodded, forcing grins, until I reached him. Hey, Cap, I said, voice rougher than intended, holding out the phone like it was contraband. Think this is yours. Swap them on the field. Jax's blue eyes lit up, then narrowed in that quarterback's focus. Assessing, calculating. He took it, our fingers brushing again. Longer this time, a spark jumping despite the cotton barrier of my hoodie sleeve. No shit? Man, I was about to tear the place apart looking for it. He flipped it over, thumbing the screen, and I swear his tan cheeks flushed under the stubble. You, didn't unlock it or anything, right? My stomach dropped. Lie or truth? The email's words echoed, suppression leads to... Nah, wouldn't invade your privacy like that. The words tasted like ash, but his relief was palpable, shoulders easing as he clapped my back, hard enough to rattle my teeth. Good man. Oh, you won, Eli. Grab a beer on me. I did, because why the hell not? The kitchen was a war zone of pong tables and spilled natty light, but Jack steered me to a quieter corner by the cooler, cracking open 2 shiners and clinking bottles like we'd been tight since Pee Wee League. That hit tonight, he said, leaning against the counter, close enough I could smell his soap. Clean, citrusy, mixed with the faint tang of Gatorade. You okay? Looked brutal. Been through worse? I shrugged, sipping to hide the way my pulse kicked up. Back in Ohio, worse meant lockers slammed on fingers for holding hands with my high school boyfriend under the bleachers, or the whispers that followed us like smoke. I'd buried that part of me deep when I transferred here, chasing gridiron dreams and a fresh start. No room for complications when you're the Latino kid fighting for snaps on a stacked D1 squad. Just glad we pulled it out. Your arm's a cannon, man. He laughed, that low rumble that vibrated through the air, and for a second, the party faded. The thump of trap music, the haze of weed smoke, to just us, bottles sweating in the heat. Team effort. You burned that corner like he owed you money. His gaze lingered, appraising, and I felt exposed, like he could see the lie etched on my bones. Then his phone buzzed, pulling him away. A text from his dad, probably the oil rig tycoon who treated football like a religion and everything else like heresy. As he glanced down, I caught a glimpse, accidental, swear to God, of the screen lighting up with a photo app. Not the lock screen brother shot, but something else. A candid of him, younger, maybe 16, shirtless on a beach, arms wrapped around another guy, their heads close, whispering secrets into the wind. The guy's face was blurry in the thumb, but the way Jax's hand curled possessively at his waist. It hit me like a second blindside. I turned away fast, pretending to scan the room, heart hammering. Was that the secret? Some high school fling, buried like nuclear waste? Or deeper, the email, the counselor? Christ, Eli, mind your own damn business. But as Jax pocketed the phone and slung an arm around my shoulders. Come on, let's own this party. I couldn't shake the pull, the magnetic north of him drawing me in against every warning screaming in my skull. The night blurred after that. Shots of cheap tequila that burned going down, a sloppy game of flip cup where Jax's throws were poetry in motion, and stolen glances when he thought I wasn't looking. His laugh lines crinkling, the way his shirt clung to his chest from the humidity. By 2 a.m., the house was thinning out, bodies slumped on couches, and Jax cornered me on the back porch, the city skyline twinkling beyond the fence like a promise. Hey, he said, voice dropping low, serious now. About earlier. Thanks for not saying anything. Means a lot. I met his eyes, those endless blues, and swallowed hard. What, the phone? Water under the bridge. He shook his head, leaning in, breath warm against my ear over the cricket chorus. No, the hit, the whispers. I saw what that asshole said. And I get it. Being the new guy, proving yourself. His hand squeezed my shoulder, thumb brushing the nape of my neck. Innocent, maybe, but electric. You're solid, Eli. Don't let him grind you down. The world tilted. Did he know? About me? About him? Or was it just locker room solidarity, the unspoken code of warriors? I mumbled something incoherent, cheeks burning hotter than the Austin summer, and he pulled back with a grin that didn't quite reach his eyes. Night, Rivera. See you at dawn run. I stumbled back to my dorm, Jax's words looping like a bad highlight reel, the phantom touch lingering on my skin. Sleep didn't come easy. Tossed in sheets that smelled like cheap detergent and regret, dreaming of beaches and blurred faces, of secrets swapped like phones in the mud. By morning, the team chat blew up with practice drills, but my mind was elsewhere, tangled in the what-ifs of a captain who carried ghosts in his gallery. Little did I know, the swap had cracked open more than a screen. It had unleashed a storm that would test every boundary I'd built, forcing me to choose between silence and salvation, betrayal and the raw ache of truth. Dawn cracked over the Longhorn practice fields like a hangover, the sky bruised purple and gold, dew slicking the grass under cleats that bit into the earth. I arrived early, as always, habit from my old coach who preached, outwork him or outlast him. But Jax was there too, tossing a ball into the net with mechanical precision, his breath fogging in the chill. No helmet yet, just a beanie pulled low over bedhead, gray sweats hugging legs that could outrun a linebacker. He nodded as I jogged up, tossing me the ball without a word, and we fell into rhythm. Spiral after spiral arcing through the mist, silent communion before the team flooded in with yawns and curses. Looking sharp, Cap, I called after a perfect 60-yard beauty, catching it one-handed to hide the tremor in my fingers. Last night's porch confession hung between us, unspoken but heavy, like humidity before a thunderstorm. He wiped sweat from his brow, smirking. Flattery gets you extra reps, Rivera. But there was no bite, just that warmth in his eyes, pulling me closer. Practice ramped up. Suicide sprints that left lungs burning, 7-on-7 drills where Jax's calls were poetry. His voice cutting through the chaos like a blade. I ran routes crisp as fresh laundry, snagging passes that drew whoops from the sidelines, but every glance his way snagged on memories. The email preview, the beach photo, the brush of his thumb. What was his story? Small-town Texas boy, raised on Bible verses and gridiron glory. Dad's shadow looming large with expectations etched in stone. Coming out here? Might as well paint a target on your back. By water break, the sun had clawed higher, baking the field into a skillet. We collapsed against the chain-link fence, Gatorade bottles dripping condensation, the team milling like cattle. Marcus, our cocky running back with a grill that flashed gold, slung an arm around Jax. Yo, Harlan, you see that cheerleader last night? The blonde with the... Jax cut him off with a laugh, but it was tight. Forced. Eyes on the prize, Mark. Playoffs ain't won in bars. Marcus shrugged it off, launching into a story about some hookup. The guys hooting, but I caught Jax's jaw clench, his gaze flicking to me, quick, almost pleading. I looked away, pretending to stretch, but inside, something twisted. Isolation in a crowd. I'd lived it. The gay kid nodding along to straight guy bravado while your heart screamed for authenticity. That afternoon, classes dragged, econ lecture on supply curves that might as well have been hieroglyphs. My notebook doodled with football formations that morphed into tangled hearts. My phone buzzed mid-note. Unknown number. Hey, it's Jax. Coach wants film review at my place tonight. 8. Bring your A game. My place? Heat prickled my neck. The captain's off-campus apartment was legend. Bachelor pads stocked with protein shakes and signed jerseys from NFL scouts. I typed back cool. See you then deleted and resent sounds good. Casual as denim. But as I pocketed the phone, dread pooled. What if he asked about the swap again? What if he knew I'd peaked? Evening fell soft over Austin, the city humming with food trucks and street fiddlers, Barton Springs laughter echoing from the springs. I showed up at his door with a six-pack of Topo Chico as peace offering, hair still wet from a shower that hadn't washed away the nerves. Jax answered in a faded Longhorns tee and basketball shorts, barefoot on hardwood that gleamed under recessed lights. Rivera, come on in, films queued up. The place was nicer than expected, minimalist, with exposed brick walls hung in black and white photos. Jax hoisting trophies, his mom beaming at graduations, a lone shot of the family ranch out in West Texas, endless sky swallowing the horizon. No beach pics, no ghosts. We settled on the couch, laptops open to huddle clips, the screen flickering with last game's carnage. See here, he said, pausing on my route, his knee bumping mine as he leaned in. You hesitated half a beat. Trust the break, Eli. You're faster than you think. The analysis flowed easy, beers swapped for mineral water when focus sharpened, hours melting as we dissected plays like surgeons. His insights were gold, nuanced, patient, and I found myself opening up, admitting the Ohio transfer jitters, the pressure of being the diversity hire on a lily-white squad. It's like, you're always on trial, I said, voice low, the room's AC humming soft approval. One fumble, and they write you off. Jax nodded, eyes distant. Tell me about it. Dad's got me mapped to the pros since I could grip a pigskin. No room for detours. He paused, fiddling with the remote, then hit play again. Too hard, the volume spiking on a crowd roar. Ever feel like you're playing someone else's game? The question landed heavy, vulnerability cracking his armor. I turned, our faces inches apart, the laptop's glow painting his features in blue light. All the time, I whispered, the air thickening. And then, reckless, I added, like hiding parts of yourself just to stay in bounds. His breath hitched, eyes searching mine, storm clouds gathering in those blues. For a heartbeat, I thought he'd bolt or laugh it off, but instead, he closed the laptop with a soft click. Eli, about the phone. I know you saw something. The email, right? Ice water in my veins. Jax, I didn't mean. He held up a hand, not angry, just raw. It's okay. Hell, it's a relief, kinda. No one's ever gotten close enough to notice. He stood, pacing to the window overlooking the twinkling drag, hands raking through his hair. I've been seeing this counselor on the down low for months, because I can't shake it. The feelings. For guys, it's like this constant static, drowning out everything else. The confession hung there, fragile as spun glass. I rose, crossing the room slow, like approaching a spooked Mustang. You're not alone in that noise, Jax. I know the static. Intimately. My voice cracked on the last word, and his head snapped up, realization dawning slow and sweet. Me too. Since forever. Silence stretched, electric, then he stepped closer. Not touching, but near enough the heat of him bridged the gap. Why didn't you say? Scared. I admitted, the word a key unlocking floodgates. Of the hit, the whispers, losing the game that's kept me sane. He reached then, tentative, his palm cupping my jaw, rough from tape residue, but gentle. Me too, but maybe, we don't have to play alone anymore. His thumb traced my cheekbone, and I leaned in, foreheads touching, breaths mingling in the quiet. No kiss, not yet. Just connection, profound and terrifying. Two outcasts finding harbor in the storm. We talked till midnight, words tumbling like autumn leaves. His first crush on a summer camp counselor, the guilt that choked him at youth group, my stolen moments in Ohio, the breakup that shattered me before the transfer, laughter mixed with tears. His, when I described my abuela's tamales as the only straight thing in my life. And by the end, curled on the couch with shoulders brushing, the world felt less like a battlefield. But secrets have sharp edges. As I left, Jax pressing a spare key into my palm. For next time, his phone buzzed on the coffee table. I glanced back, unthinking, and saw the caller ID. Dad. The screen lit with a text preview. Son, that game footage better show ringside for scouts. No distractions. Remember who's counting on you. The door clicked shut behind me, but the warning echoed. Distractions. In the heart of Texas football country, where legacies were forged in blood and blinders, we just lit a match in a powder keg. The next week blurred into a fever dream of stolen moments and sharpened edges, Austin's relentless sun mirroring the blaze building between us. Mornings started with Jax's texts. Coffee run? Meet at the Union. Innocent on the surface, but laced with subtext that set my skin humming. We'd sip black brews on the steps of the main tower, knees knocking under the table, dissecting dreams over the chime of the carillon bells. What if I bombed the draft? He'd murmur, stirring sugar he never drank. Walk away from it all for something real. I'd squeeze his hand under the table, quick as a fumbled snap. Then you'd ranch it up with your brother, chase sunsets. Be free. The words were brave, but inside, fear gnawed. Freedom for him meant chains for me. The invisible ones of family honor, scholarships hanging by threads. On the field, we were fire and fuel. My routes slicing defenses like butter, his throws threading needles only he could see. Coach barked praises. Harlan Rivera, that's chemistry, boys. Oblivious to the undercurrent, the way our eyes locked post-catch, promising more than yards gained. Off-field, it deepened. Late-night drives in his beat-up F-150 to the outskirts, where hill country stars blanketed the sky, making out slow and sweet on checkered blankets. hands exploring with the reverence of explorers charting unknown lands. No rush, no frenzy, just lips brushing collarbones, fingers tracing ribs, whispers of "you're safe here" against fevered skin. But paradise has perimeter patrols. Marcus started sniffing first, cornering me after weights one Tuesday, his gold teeth glinting under the fluorescent buzz. "You and Cap, tight these days, huh?" Film sessions turning into sleepovers. His tone was half joke, half jab, eyes narrowing like he smelled weakness. "Jealous," I shot back, spotting a bench press to hide the spike in my pulse. "Focus on your fumbles, Mark." He laughed, but it was hollow, clapping my back too hard. "Just saying, Eli. Harlan's got eyes on the prize. Don't trip him up." The warning slithered under my skin, festering as I watched Jax from across the weight room, grunting through deadlifts, muscles coiling like springs, oblivious to the vultures circling. The betrayal brewed slow, a pot left too long on simmer. It boiled over Friday, post-win against OU. The Red River shootout, Memorial Stadium a cauldron of burnt orange and crimson hate. Our 28-24 nail-biter sending the 40 acres into rapture. The after-party at the frat was biblical. Kegs flowing like the Colorado, bodies grinding to Luke Bryan covers, Jax at the center, Crown Prince holding court. I hung back, nursing a beer, contentment warring with caution. His secret was mine now, our shared vault, but the room felt like a minefield. Then she appeared. Lauren, sorority queen with hair like spun gold and a laugh that tinkered like wind chimes. Jax's ex, the beard he'd confessed over milkshakes one night. High school sweethearts, a cover for proms and family pics, parted amicably but with strings that tugged. She draped an arm around him now, whispering in his ear, and he played along, that megawatt smile flashing for the crowd. My gut twisted, not jealousy exactly, but the ache of performance, the reminder that our bubble was glass fragile. I slipped out for air, porch steps creaking under me, the night air thick with grill smoke from tailgates dying down. Footsteps followed, and there was Marcus, beer in hand, smirk dialed to 11. "Trouble in paradise, Rivera?" "Fuck off," I muttered, but he leaned against the rail, too close, breath sour. "Nah, man, saw you watching, and I saw something else." He pulled out his phone, thumbing to a video. Grainy, but unmistakable. Jax and me, last weekend at the ranch overlook, silhouetted against sunset, heads bent close, my hand on his thigh. "Snapped this when I followed you. Thought it was a bro hang, but, damn, Captain's got a type." Ice flooded my veins. "Delete it. Now." He pocketed the phone, grin wolfish. "Or what? Tell the team, Dad? Scouts don't draft fairies, Eli. And your ride ends here." Extortion dripped from every word. Starting lineup spots, party invites, the fragile ladder we'd both climbed. Betrayal, pure and petty, born of his own insecurities. The running back forever in Jax's shadow. I lunged, fists clenched, but he danced back, laughing. "Easy, Tiger. Consider this your warning. Back off or it goes viral by morning." The door banged open then, Jax spilling out with Lauren on his arm, her giggles slicing the tension. "Everything good?" he called, eyes flicking between us, sensing the fracture. Marcus straightened, all charm. "Just congratulating our star WR. Night, boys." He sauntered off, leaving me gutted, the video a guillotine blade hovering. I couldn't tell Jax. Not yet, not with her there, the facade cracking under strain. Instead, I forced a smile, joining the trio inside. The party a blur of forced toasts and dances where Jax's hand found my back under tables. Secret Morse code. But Marcus's eyes tracked us, a serpent in Eden, and by last call, doubt had rooted deep. Saturday dawned gray, rain lashing the windows as I paced my dorm, phone silent. No texts from Jax, just a team group chat exploding with memes from the win. Guilt chewed at me. If I'd been straight, if we'd been careful, would Marcus have ammunition? I showered hot, scrubbing till skin pinked, then headed to the athletic center for solo lifts, punishment, penance, anything to drown the what-ifs. Jax found me there, spotting curls in the mirror maze of free weights, his reflection materializing like a ghost. "Hey, you ghosted last night." No accusation, just concern, his tank top damp from the downpour outside. "Needed space," I lied, racking the bar with a clang that echoed my turmoil. "Big game hangover." He stepped closer, voice low amid the clank of iron. "Or Marcus said something?" My flinch betrayed me, and he cursed under his breath. "That prick. What did he do?" The dam broke then, words spilling in a torrent, the video, the threats, the venomous glee. Jax's face darkened, thunderclouds rolling in, fists balling at his sides. "Son of a bitch. I'll handle it." "No." I grabbed his arm, muscle taut under my fingers. "It'll make it worse. Out us both before we're ready." He pulled me into a hug then, fierce and enveloping, chin resting on my crown as rain pattered the roof like distant applause. "We're ready when we say, Eli. Not him. Not anyone." His lips brushed my temple, a vow sealed in salt and sweat. "I love you for this, for seeing me, all of me." The words hung, first time spoken aloud, and I melted against him, whispering back, "Love you too, Cap, more than the game." But love's a spotlight and ours was drawing shadows. That night, as we huddled in his apartment watching old westerns, John Wayne drawls mocking our modern mess, his phone shattered the illusion. A call from Dad, voice booming through speaker. "Jackson, rumors from the team. Some bullshit about you and that transfer kid. Clean it up, or I'll clean it for you." The line went dead, leaving silence thicker than fog. Jax's hand trembled in mine, the betrayal compounding. Not just Marcus's blade, but family legacy wielding it like a sword. Climax loomed, the big game against A&M on the horizon, where legacies were made or mauled, and our secret teetered on the razor's edge. The week to A&M crawled like a death row countdown, Caulfield's shadow stretching across the plains, a coliseum where rivalries turned biblical. Practices were brutal, coach amping drills to sadistic levels, barking "no weak links," as if he sensed the rot. Marcus played coy, all winks and backslaps, but his eyes gleamed with malice, the video a ghost haunting every huddle. Jax and I navigated minefield careful. Quick squeezes in equipment rooms, coded texts like Route 7, midnight for rooftop meets atop the dorms, where Austin's lights sprawled like spilled jewels. But the strain showed, Jax's throws veering wild one rep, my focus fracturing on curls that read like accusations. Dad's call had gutted him, old wounds reopening. He built the ranch on football dreams, Jax confessed one night, head in my lap as thunder rumbled distant. "Mom left when I was 10, said the game ate him alive. Can't be the son who breaks it." Tears tracked his temples, rare vulnerability cracking the quarterback facade, and I wiped them with thumbs that ached to erase more. "You're not breaking anything?" I murmured, carting fingers through his hair, the scent of his shampoo, pine and earth, grounding us. "You're building a life beyond the yards." Humanistic hope flickered there, fragile but fierce. Love as rebellion, identity as inheritance reclaimed. But betrayal's echo mocked it. Marcus's leak to Dad? Coincidence or calculated strike? Friday eve of the showdown, the team banquet swelled the student union. Steak and speeches under chandeliers that dripped like honey, boosters and Stetsons toasting legacies. Jax sat podium proud, award in hand for seasonal MVP, his speech a masterclass in deflection. Gratitude to God, Dad, the grind. I clapped from the back, pride swelling past the pang. Our eyes met across the room, a lifeline in the sea of plaid ties and pearl necklaces. Post-dinner, as plates cleared to clinks of silver, Marcus cornered us in the alcove by dessert carts. His date, a vapid Kappa, giggling at his elbow. "Congrats, Cap," he slurred. A touch too convivial, phone dangling loose in his grip. "To many more, sans distractions." The word landed like a spike, and Jax stiffened beside me, fork pausing mid-air. "Cut the shit, Mark," Jax said, voice steel-wrapped calm. "Whatever games you're playing, end it." Marcus's laugh was a bark. Game? Nah, just truth serum. Saw you two at the Overlook. Cozy. He waved the phone, video cued, the blurry clip a dagger. The alcove hushed. Nearby tables turning like hounds scenting blood. My blood roared, fight or flight screaming. But Jax moved first, rising slow, every inch the leader. You think this buries me? Us. He glanced at me, resolve hardening his jaw. Hit send, Mark. Leak it. But know this, I'm done hiding. Eli's my partner in life on the field. And if that costs me snaps or scouts, so be it. Gasps rippled, forks clattering. Marcus blinked. Bluff called. The phone sagging in his fist. You're serious? Dad'll disown you. Team'll. Let him try. Jax cut in, hand finding mine under the table. Public, defiant. Football's my love, but Eli's my heart. Bigger than any ring. The words boomed, carrying and heads turned. Coach's brow furrowing. A booster's cigar pausing mid-puff. Chaos erupted then. Whispers exploding to shouts. Marcus stammering retreat. His date fleeing in heels that clicked like gunfire. Jax pulled me up, facing the room. Our clasped hands a banner. Anyone got a problem? He called, voice steady as a snap count. Say it now, or suit up tomorrow like warriors, not whisperers. Silence fell, thick and testing. Then Coach stood, grizzled vet with a drawl like molasses. Harlan, he rumbled, eyes appraising. Rivera, y'all play like men who got something to prove. That's all I need. A nod, grudging but gold, and the room exhaled. Claps scattering like rain on tin, tentative at first, then thunderous. Not universal acclamation, no fairy tale wave, but a crack in the wall, humanistic in its mess. Acceptance earned, not gifted. Dad's reaction came at dawn. Truck tires crunching gravel outside Jax's as we prepped for bus loadout. He stormed in, face carved from granite, Bible quotes flying like shrapnel. This perversion. It's the devil's play, boy. Throwing away God's gifts for. Jax faced him square, me at his side like a sentinel. Dad, it's not perversion. It's me. Oh, and Eli? He's the best gift I've found. The elder Harlan railed, threats of cutoffs and shame. But Jax held firm, voice breaking on memories of Mom's quiet kindness. The ranch's wide-open skies that taught tolerance in whispers. Love me as I am, or lose me altogether. The old man deflated slow, shoulders sagging under flannel weight. Eyes, Jax's eyes, glistening. Your ma. She always said follow your North Star, son. If this is yours. A hand extended, tentative, then gripping Jax's shoulder. Not full embrace. Not yet. Wounds too deep for instant heal. But a bridge rickety but real. Make me proud. On that field. Off it. Tears stung as Dad nodded to me. Gruff, appraising. Before retreating to his truck, taillights fading into mist. Jax collapsed against me. Sobs muffled in my neck. Release raw and redemptive. We did it, he whispered. And I held him tighter. The world remade in that embrace. Game day dawned feral. Kyle Field a snarling beast, 100,000 strong in maroon. Aggie air electric with hate chants. We boarded the bus in quiet unity. Marcus subdued in the back. Team bonds frayed but holding. On the turf, under floodlights that seared like judgment, Jax took the helm. First drive, laser to me over the middle 60 yards to pay dirt. The crowd's roar swallowed by us, if only for moments. Score tied at half, then our lead in the fourth. My toe tap catch in the end zone sealing 35-31. Post whistle, helmets off, Jax found me in the crush. Arms wrapping fierce, kiss stolen amid flashbulbs and cheers, the world blurring to just us. Scouts scribbled notes, Dad watched from stands with tentative clap. Marcus slunk away silent. Victory tasted bittersweet, laced with the knowledge. Battles lingered, bigots lurked, but we'd claimed our ground. Months later, draft night in New York. Jay's in a sharp suit, me beside him in Austin via video link. His name flashed third overall, Cowboys calling his future home. Dad flew in, handshake firm. Team toasted with shiners, Coach's gruff, knew you had it masking pride. But the real win. Waking tangled in sheets at the ranch, Jax's breath warm on my neck, brother ribbing us over breakfast, skies endless above. We'd swapped more than phones that muddy night. Secrets for souls, fear for fortitude. In America's heartland crucible, love proved the ultimate play. Not flawless, not unchallenged, but enduring. A humanistic hymn to being seen, holy and wildly, under every light.